what's up everybody? Welcome to Car Question. We're sitting in the new Toyota Camry and I hope you saw the previous video that we did about the interior and it's looking great, and the exterior, it's looking aggressive, but now it's time for specification and how I like to drive this car, the road handling feeling. So let's start with the engine. The model that we have was a 4-cylinder, a 2.5 liter, which is completely new. They call it the dynamic force engine. You've got an aluminum alloy block with aluminum alloy head, 16 valve engine. You've got the famous dual VVTi with VVTi-E of Toyota. What does that mean? It's variable valve timing intelligence system by an electric motor this time. And you've got also the D4S, the direct injection 4-stroke gasoline engine, superior version as they call it. It's direct injection and laser clad valve seat. So how about horsepower? Well, it's going to depend on the version that you're going to choose. If you're going for a LE, SE or XLE, it's going to be 203 horsepower at 6,600 RPM. This engine likes to rev. And for torque, you're going to have 184 pound-feet of torque at 5,000 RPM. If you go with the XSE model, you know, the sportier version with the quad exhaust pipe, exactly the one that we have, get ready, horsepower gain 206. That's not major though. At the 6,600 RPM, the same thing, and you got 186 pound-feet of torque. A little bit of an upgrade, just only 2. So that's not going to make a big difference. It's really minor. You won't even feel it when you're going to be accelerating. But if you want major power, you're going to have to go with the 3.5 liter V6 engine with the D4S fuel injection, 24 valve DOHC. 301 horsepower at 6,600 RPM, and this engine likes to rev. It's a real screamer. The sound is really interesting at full acceleration. It's going to be good for 267 pound-feet of torque at 4,700 RPM. It's going to utilize the Atkinson cycle to enhance fuel economy without sacrificing performance. It's also got port and direct fuel injection. All these engines are going to be mated to the new Direct Shift-8AT 8-speed automatic transmission. Finally, not a CVT, because in the competition you see more and more of those. So it's a real 8-speed transmission. It's going to enhance power delivery and as well as an optimal fuel efficiency. But you're going to see that this transmission has some kind of a mind of its own. It likes to stick in the higher gears, but we're going to talk about that later. How about the hybrid version though of the Camry? This is an interesting choice also that you can go for. The hybrid system net horsepower is rated at 208 horsepower. You've got the 2.5 liter, which is the same one, but it's going to give you less horsepower, 176 at 5,700 RPM, 163 pound-feet of torque between 3,600 and 5,200 RPM. You can use regular fuel, 87 octane in this one. It's going to include the new sequential shiftmatic technology that allows the driver to shift the CVT. It's going to mimic a quick shifting 6-speed automatic transmission via the paddle. And you've got also the paddle with the regular 8-speed transmission that you have in the Camry that we are driving this week. So once again, they wanted to be real fuel efficient, and it's going to work in concert with the electric motor, while the exemplary energy efficiency is achieved by using both electric motor, the MG1 and MG2, for the hybrid battery charging. Let's talk about those electric engine. Well, they are permanent magnet synchronous motor. You've got an output of 118 horsepower and torque is rated at 149. You've got the hybrid battery pack, but there's going to be 2 differences between the battery. If you go with the LE version, it's a lithium-ion battery, 70 cells, 3.7 volt per cells, and the lithium ion is 4.0 ampere hour. If you go for the SE or the XLE, it's a NIMH batteries, they call it, the nickel metal hydride. It's composed of 204 cells, 1.2 volt per cells, and it's going to be 6.5 ampere hour for this one. When it's going to come to road handling, this is a major change between the previous version because Toyota used the new TNGA platform. This platform is really impressive. It's more rigid. Actually, it's 30% increase in torsional rigidity. So there's a major feeling on the road when you compare it to the previous version of the Camry. You've got also laser screw welding that has been incorporated at key juncture throughout the body platform for increased joint rigidity. The 40-foot body includes also additional gussets for the front and the rear door frame, the B-pillar, that have greatly increased the frame joint strength. Acceleration are kind of okay for a 200 horsepower engine though, but it's missing the punch. You know, you've got that aggressive styling of the Camry. Why not give it more reaction? And it needs to rev. It's still offering linear power, but sometimes, you know, you really need to make it rev to feel the maximum acceleration out of it. The V6 is an awesome choice. If you like horsepower, if you like this Camry to be a little bit faster, well, go for that. Once again, it's still an engine that likes to rev, and you've got that awesome sound. So this one's gonna make probably the best Camry ever when you combine it to the 8-speed transmission. Talking about that transmission, it's got a mind of its own. You can select the S feature right there on the side, but it's not going to shift really quicker. Even if you put it into manual mode, it's still going to change by itself. It won't hold the gear. So as soon as it add enough, well, there you go. You're switching gear and you're losing time in your curve. And if you're going to floor it, let's say from 80 to 120, there's a slight delay when the car will accelerate to pick on the full acceleration. You've got different mode, Eco, Normal, Sport that you can select. It's going to change the direction, the reactivity, but it's not making a lot of difference. I don't really get it. Maybe in the steering you can feel it a little bit, but okay, maybe the reaction of the gas pedal, but otherwise, why put a sports mode in this kind of Camry if it doesn't change a lot of things? Still, braking power in front, you've got 12-inch disc brake, in the rear 11.06 inches. By the way, they are solid in the rear and ventilated in the front. You've got that great modulation. It doesn't require a lot of effort, but if you're going to brake, you're going to see that it's a little bit longer than the other car in the segment. And if you use it too much, you will smell the heat. Even if we put this car through a hard test, we didn't lose any braking, but you know, the heat that it generated was kind of obvious. The direction is an electric power steering. It's well balanced. It feels okay. When you put it into sports mode, it's going to require more correction out of it. And remember, if you go for the V6, you're going to have torque steer, a thing that you don't have with the 2.0 turbo Accord. The suspension, well, you've got a longer wheelbase compared to the outgoing model. The front suspension tower brace is embedded within the cowl body that now makes use of closed cross-section construction, further advancing the vehicle dynamic handling prowess and stability in the corner. It's not bad, but once again, you've got that Camry feeling. It tends to wave a little bit though. And the tire, 19 inches tire, they're going to give you great bite though. But once again, it's more for touring than performance. 235 large tires. In the rear of the vehicle, there's a new rear body frame of annular construction that will enhance once again the structural rigidity, and it's joined by additional braces added to the rear suspension that can withstand higher level of lateral force and increase the vehicle lateral rigidity. And by the way, the sway bar are going to be different if you go for the LLE XLE model. It's a little bit smaller than the SE and XSE. And by the way, you've got great biting of those tires, but remember, 235. If you're going to do small parking maneuvers in tight cornering, you will see that it takes kind of large for its turning cycle. General comfort is extremely smooth though. I really love the inside of the Camry. Look at that. Large seat, comfortable. You still got okay support on the side though, but they're really comfortable over time. In the front, in the rear, and you got that little headspace where they're giving you a few extra inches there. That's perfect for a long road. And you've got also a big trunk. Everything is fine. The sound system is not too bad, but be careful when you open the sunroof to your nice air. You're gonna see that there's a big wind gust entering, and when you're gonna close it, be careful to your ear. If you're sensible, you're gonna hear that. let's talk about security. Well, Toyota is probably right now the manufacturer that's offering the most about security with the Toyota Safety Sense package, and it's standard on all their cars in the lineup. So this is the one that you've got the P package for pedestrian detection. So you've got pre-collision system with pedestrian detection, dynamic radar cruise control, lane departure alert system with steering assist. You've got automatic high beams. And this one, you've got blind spot monitor, rear cross traffic alert, my favorite, and an intelligent clearance sonar. So that's perfect when you're gonna get near a sidewalk and you don't want to hurt a nice Camry because the body's a little bit lower than it used to do. And also it's the same thing for you. When you're sitting in the car, you feel lower than in the previous version though. And it will also include a new rear cross traffic braking system. So as soon as it's going to sense something, there you go, it's going to brake if you didn't react soon enough. Let's talk about fuel consumption, and by the way, it's going to vary a lot if you go with the L, LE, SE, XSE, XLE, 4-cylinder, V6, and hybrid model. But let's go with the model that we have right now, the XSE. 8.5 into town, 6.1 on the highway, and a combined number of 7.4. Those are really close to what we've done with the car. We get into the 9 because we really push the car really hard in performance mode while filming the shots for it. But I did some highway and it was really low from my home to my job. We really hit right there the 5.9, the 6, we were right on target. And for those regular driving conditions, you might hit 8.2, 8.3. But if we would have been careful, we could have easily hit the 7 liter per 100. Otherwise, if you go for the V6 version, the more powerful one, expect number to vary between 10.5 and 10.7 into town. As soon as you're gonna hit highway with that cool 8-speed transmission, you're gonna lower those numbers to around 7. But remember, you might hit even the 11 or 12. And this engine is powerful though. But now the big question, is the hybrid version really worth it when you check the numbers? Well, a combined numbers of 4.9 with the LE models, 5.1 with the XLE or SE model. So there's a major difference. So if you do a lot of mileage, it might be worth it. But remember, it's more performant in the city rather than on the highway. So in general, Toyota was really aggressive with the new Camry. I really love the new feeling. It feels more rigid. It feels more sporty. But you really need to rev that 4-cylinder engine, and it can get annoying with the sound over time. Also, you've got that little suspension movement. I thought they would have corrected that with the new TNGA, but still, it's one of the best cars out there. It's gonna really be a good balance between great equipment, great inside, and also fuel efficiency. Reliability also will not be an issue with a Toyota. The Camry is well known to be one of the most reliable cars out there. So well done on that, Toyota. So there you go. Don't forget, guys, we're going to do an acceleration test later, and we're going to compare also the same car in this segment to see who's the best out there, the Accord, the Mazda 6. So who might win? I don't know, but it's sure not going to be Ford because they didn't change a thing on their car for this year. Anyway, subscribe to Car Question, do a thumbs up because you like, and don't forget, comment section is down there below. Take care, guys.